before froze. What are you doing? Don't you have a ton of debt to pay off? The girl he was obsessed with, the supposed victim of my plagiarism, panicked too. Vivi, you don't have to punish yourself like this. I'm willing to give you a chance to start over. I stared out at the frantic sea of camera flashes, my expression unmoving. In my last life, those two had conspired to humiliate me while stealing my creative work. In the end, the words I'd bled onto the page built Rachel Chen's reputation as a literary genius. This time around, I simply deleted the author pen name I'd used for 6 years. I'm done with this tiny apartment. It's time to go home and inherit the family fortune. As for Rachel Chen, let's see how you managed to finish the other half of that novel. Ms. Meng, you kept saying you'd provide evidence to prove your innocence. So where is it? As a former reader, I really don't want to believe you'd do something like this. But are your previous works even yours? Facing a forest of microphones thrust at me, I froze for a second before my heart started hammering in my chest. I was reborn. Back to the day of the press conference I'd called to prove my innocence. In my previous life, my boyfriend's dream girl had plagiarized the novel I'd based on my own unrequited love story. The day it was released, the book shot to the top of the bestseller list, becoming a smash hit in the young adult campus genre. After being shared by major influencers, countless readers gushed online about how it brought them to tears. I had planned to present my original drafts as proof, but I never imagined that on the day of the press conference, someone would wipe my computer clean, leaving not a single trace. I endured an unprecedented wave of online harassment. Every day, I received funeral wreaths, black and white photos of myself, and other terrifying packages from all over the country. I gritted my teeth and kept writing, only to be found by an extremist anti-fan who stabbed me to death. Now, I'd only hesitated for a moment, but my wonderful boyfriend of 3 years, Liu Shui, couldn't resist launching his attack. Vivian Meng, if you're going to claim Rachel slandered you, then show us the proof. Stop slinging mud without any evidence. He glared at me, but a flicker of triumph flashed in his eyes. Of course. How could he not know what was or wasn't in my files? This was exactly what he wanted. My reputation destroyed, paving the way for Rachel Chen to become the next big author. I lowered my eyes, picked up my laptop, and walked over to the projection station. I turned it on and mirrored the screen. The next second, under everyone's stunned gaze, I permanently deleted the author pen name I had used for 6 years. Leo and Rachel shot to their feet. My voice was cold as I spoke. Everyone, I have been wrongly accused today. The evidence has been destroyed by a malicious party, and I cannot defend myself. As of today, this pen name is defunct. I am retiring from writing, and will never again set foot in the world of online fiction. As I finished speaking and turned to leave with my laptop, Leo rushed in front of me, blocking my path. What are you doing? Don't you have a ton of debt to pay off? You're just going to quit? Didn't you always say writing was your biggest dream? Rachel was panicking too. She walked over, her eyes welling with tears. Vivi, you don't have to punish yourself like this. I'm willing to give you a chance to start over. I watched their little performance with a cold smile. The next second, Rachel bit her lip and dropped to her knees in front of me. Vivi, I'm begging you, please don't quit over something so small. Your readers will never forgive me. I can delete everything and we can pretend none of this ever happened. If you quit, it'll be all my fault. I'll quit writing too. The sound of camera shutters instantly focused on her. My own top editor, Fei couldn't help but step forward to pull her up. Rachel, what are you talking about? Why would you kneel to a plagiarist? She brought this on herself. You just signed a star author contract with the company. Don't forget you have more work to do. I had no desire to stand around and be attacked, so I left. To avoid the reporters, I took a side path and called a cab from the back exit to take me to my rental. On the way home, notifications from X kept popping up on my phone. I opened the app and saw that 4 of the top 10 trending topics were about me. Vivian Meng plagiarist. Vivian Meng Rachel Chen. Rachel forced to kneel. Rachel Chen ghostwriter. Vicious clickbait accounts were now discrediting everything I'd ever written. They claimed I had stolen Rachel's ideas and threatened her into being my ghostwriter. The comments on my profile were a cesspool. WTF, so disgusting. I can't believe I was a fan of a plagiarist. I watched the whole press conference live stream. Vivian Meng was so cornered she couldn't say a word, and in the end she forced Rachel to kneel. At least you had the sense to retire. Otherwise I'd have personally ruined you. Even her own boyfriend called her out. Vivian Meng, what the hell did you do? I bet she just made enough money from her cash grab and decided to run. I hope Rachel sues her and she ends up in court. My private messages were even worse, filled with nothing but filth. In contrast, Rachel's follower count was skyrocketing, and her comments were filled with warm, encouraging messages. I left a single comment. Well, I hope you can keep up the daily updates and finish the second half. Don't let your readers down. I knew I didn't have much of a manuscript buffer left. Rachel had been too impatient. Worried that I'd publish before she had the full draft, she decided to strike first. But she would never be able to resolve the foreshadowing and Easter eggs I'd planted in the first half. Exposing her was only a matter of time. I got back to my apartment. At 1,000 square feet, it wasn't big, but it wasn't small either. I'd decorated it to be warm and cozy. The old walls were covered with photos I'd arranged into a heart shape. Pictures of me and Leo. Except every single one was a candid shot I had secretly taken and gotten printed. He would never take a photo with me. He also refused to post about us on his social media, and on our anniversaries, he would always give me the silent treatment before disappearing. For years, I'd paid the rent and utilities. I'd also covered most of the costs for our meals, shopping trips, and dates. I immediately called my landlord to break the lease, fully prepared to pay the penalty. I started throwing things out, packing up as fast as I could. As I was in the middle of this frantic flurry, there was a knock on the door. I opened it to find Leo and Rachel. Vivi, are you moving? Rachel grabbed my hand with false concern the moment she walked in. I yanked it away, my face cold. Meanwhile, Leo looked at me with undisguised contempt. Moving? As far as I know, her dad died from an illness a long time ago. All the money she's earned from writing these past few years went to paying off his medical debt. She complains that the $2,000 rent on this place is too expensive. The only place she could move to is some rundown single-room dorm. I looked at him, my face a blank mask. What do you want? Leo spoke with disgust. Apologize to Rachel. Publicly admit that you plagiarized her work. My brow twitched. Was he even human? Leo, you know the truth, don't you? I demanded furiously. You've been living off me for years. Where do you get the nerve to say something like this now? Leo's expression didn't soften in the slightest. Because you're a jobless orphan with no parents, while Rachel has been a princess adored by everyone since we were in school, he said, full of self-righteousness. Anything she wants, I'll help her get. I bet you didn't know, but Rachel's parents are high school teachers. She's 1,000 times better than you in every way. The man I'd loved since college was now attacking me with the most venomous words imaginable. He only knew I was from a single-parent family and had moved out after a fight with my mother over our different philosophies. He didn't know that my mom is the CEO of the Asia-Pacific region for a multinational corporation, or that my dad left us a 9-figure inheritance when he died. Truth be told, if I hadn't chosen to stay here to escape having to take over the family business, I would have been someone Leo could never hope to reach in his entire life. Seeing that I was silent, Leo assumed his attacks had hit their mark and continued with a sneer. Some people are born princesses, while others, no matter how hard they try, are just maids hiding in the shadows. If I were you, I'd crawl away in shame and leave everything here for Rachel. What are you still standing there for? Get on X and publicly apologize to Rachel right now. Or don't blame me for what happens next. But in the next second, I raised my hand and gave Leo a solid, ringing slap across the face. I hit him so hard his head snapped to the side. His eyes widened, the whites instantly flooding with red. Vivian Meng, you dare hit me? Rachel shrieked and scrambled back, fumbling for her phone to start recording. But I was faster. I slapped the phone out of her hand, then grabbed my suitcase and swung it, knocking them both aside. I unleashed all my fury, smashing anything I could get my hands on. It didn't matter, I wasn't planning on keeping any of it. You like my stuff so much? Then you can have it all. The room was a wreck, with shattered objects everywhere you looked. I pulled open the door and strode out of the cramped place I'd called home for 3 years. I called my mom. We hadn't spoken in years, but when I dialed her number, she picked up immediately. In that instant, tears streamed uncontrollably down my face. In my past life, from the moment I'd stormed out after college graduation until the day I was murdered, I never spoke another word to my mother. I couldn't bear to think how devastated she must have been to hear about my death. This time, I just wanted to be my mom's spoiled little girl again. You're home. That's all that matters. You're home. My mom's voice trembled, and by the end, she could only repeat those words. Soon, I was on a plane back to New York City. Before boarding, I glanced at X and saw that Rachel had posted another cloying message. Sorry everyone, I'm going to take a break from writing for a while. Everything that's happened recently has left me feeling a bit broken. Vivian Meng was a senior writer I've always admired. I'd like to take some time off to get myself together. My former editor, Fei Li, who had once been so caring, quickly reposted it. Readers, please give Rachel some time to produce even better work. We'll be holding a fan meet and greet in New York City next month. We welcome you all to attend. It was obvious they were trying to build Rachel into a high-traffic, influencer-style author. I sighed, turned off my phone, and fell into a deep sleep. When I landed, my mom was already there to pick me up with a chauffeur, bodyguards, and a Rolls-Royce. She said she'd already heard about what happened and was preparing to have her friends in PR handle it, while also contacting lawyers to file a lawsuit. We will see this through to the end. I will not let my baby girl suffer any injustice. I lay in my mother's arms as she gently rubbed my back, her chin resting softly on my forehead. The car was stocked with all sorts of exquisite snacks and my favorite drinks from when I was younger. My mom was afraid I'd be hungry and had started preparing everything the moment she got my call. I hugged her tightly. Don't worry, Mom. You don't have to go to all that trouble. I smiled. Soon enough, the real plagiarist is going to get what she deserves. Moving back into our family's mansion was absolutely incredible. No more waking up early to buy groceries and cook 3 meals a day. No more doing my own laundry. I had so many zeros in my bank account I couldn't spend it all, and I never had to worry about rent or bills again. My mom set up a dedicated study for me. It had walls lined with books and a top-of-the-line computer, supporting me in whatever I wanted to do. Every morning, I could sunbathe by the floor-to-ceiling windows, do some yoga, get a facial, and have a gourmet feast for lunch. In the afternoons, I went shopping, had afternoon tea, and took lessons in horseback riding, golf, and more yoga. At night, I'd have a glass of red wine while soaking in a spacious bathtub, and be lulled to sleep by a sound therapist my mom hired just for me. My physical and mental health improved dramatically, reaching a level far beyond what it used to be. Meanwhile, as Rachel's hiatus dragged on, voices of discontent began to appear online. People started to question her. Can Rachel Chin actually write? Could Vivian Meng have been telling the truth? There's no reason to go on hiatus for this long right when you're a hit. She has zero professionalism. Is she just messing with us? Give me my money back. Rachel was getting anxious, too, appearing online more and more frequently. I knew her type. She was pretty and had coasted on men's attention her whole life, with no real talent to back it up. Making her write a few words was more painful than death. Moreover, my book was based entirely on my own life, telling the story of my unrequited crush on a senior in college. And no matter how well Leo knew me, he could only recount a few isolated incidents to Rachel. So, buckling under the pressure, Rachel gritted her teeth and wrote a chapter with Leo's guidance. But the data showed a nosedive in readership, and the flood of negative reviews made her quickly delete it. Then she was back on X, playing the victim. She claimed she was sick and had to have surgery, saying her heart was willing but her body was weak. But she made a promise. She would deliver a work that would satisfy everyone at the in-person fan meeting. One day, I was browsing in Hermes, trying to decide which bag to get with a new outfit, when my former editor, Fei Li, suddenly messaged me, saying she wanted to meet. Vivi, I see your IP address is in New York. I happen to be here on a business trip. Let's have a good talk. Maybe I misunderstood some things. My heart skipped a beat. I thought this would be the moment my name was finally cleared. I never imagined that Faye had come to find me to persuade me to continue writing the book for Rachel. In the coffee shop, Faye glanced at the new Chanel outfit I was wearing and let out a soft, disdainful laugh. Name your price, Vivi. I know your financial situation is tough. How much will it take for you to pick up the pen again? Right now, Rachel Chin is our site's golden goose. She's already generated huge profits for us, and the company is absolutely going to protect her. The few minutes of silence felt like an eternity. Your pen name is gone, and your old readers have moved on. Besides, you only got popular in the first place because the site put a lot of effort into promoting you. Faye pushed her coffee cup aside and leaned forward. $52,000. That's enough to replace that fake outfit with a real one. And it will help you keep doing what you want to do. Looking at her meaningful gaze, my face turned completely dark. What kind of person did Faye think I was? And what did she think I was doing in New York? Fine, I squeezed out between my teeth. No problem. I already have the outline ready. It'll only take 3 days. I'll deliver the remaining 100,000 words. Faye stood up excitedly. Great. It's a deal then. I'll wait for you here in 3 days. I grabbed my bag and left. When I got home, I opened my computer and started writing, following the outline I had drafted in a notebook long ago. Perhaps it was because of my recent break, but my inspiration and energy were overflowing. 3 days later, with dark circles under my eyes, I handed her the manuscript. Faye was overjoyed, but she was still cautious enough to review the manuscript right there in front of me. Only after confirming there were no issues did she let out a sigh of relief, transfer me the $50,000 on the spot, and have me sign a non-disclosure agreement. But Faye didn't know. Once that manuscript was uploaded to the site, the formatting wouldn't look the same. The first letter of certain lines, scattered throughout the middle, would spell out a sentence. Rachel Chin is the real plagiarist. With the manuscript in hand, Rachel seemed to have been rejuvenated overnight. She was even firing back at her haters. She posted a screenshot of the document's word count and wrote angrily, "I will never rush and churn out filler just for clicks. I demand quality from my work, something I can be proud of." This bold declaration won her even more goodwill, and her page was flooded with praise. I scrolled through her comments and noticed one user, Rachel for Life, who was particularly conspicuous. This user's entire profile was dedicated to Rachel. It documented 3 years of train tickets and countless notes on her personal preferences, all gathered through careful observation. From his past profile pictures, I realized it was Leo. Only then did I understand. When he'd confessed his feelings to me after graduation, it was just to make Rachel jealous. Soon, the day of Rachel's reader meet and greet arrived. She had announced beforehand that she would upload the rest of the book live at the event, letting her readers binge it all at once. The offer was too tempting to resist. On the day of the event, the entire hall was packed. An outsider might have thought a major celebrity had arrived. Fans held up homemade signs and merchandise, and their cheers were loud enough to break the sound barrier. Rachel is even more beautiful in person. A goddess who's not only talented, but also gorgeous. Is she trying to make the rest of us feel bad? I love your book so much. Can you sign this for me? I'm about to freak out. When is the print version coming out? I'm going to buy 10 copies to treasure. Don't push, you're blocking me. When it came to the QA, Rachel answered everything according to the script Leo had coached her on. Of course, the senior was amazing. He went abroad right after graduation. He's the one that got away in my memories. I only dared to walk by his classroom on purpose on my way from class. He was always standing in the hallway, laughing with people. I looked forward to morning exercises when we all ran together, and lunch in the cafeteria, because I could be near him without it being weird. I even paid for a premium account on his social media page, just to secretly look at his profile. I never dared to look up when I saw him, pretending to be all cold and aloof. Haha. He probably still has no idea I ever liked him. Rachel's expression was shy and timid, just like a little girl with a crush on the most popular guy in school. At certain moments, she would lower her gaze, as if reliving the pain of unrequited love. Finally, the most exciting moment arrived. The remaining manuscript of Rachel's book appeared on the big screen. The highly anticipated book was finally complete. Readers pulled out their phones, showering Rachel's book with donations and votes. The venue filled with sighs of admiration. Everyone agreed it was a masterpiece, that the second half was even more tear-jerking than the first. Soft sobs started to ripple through the crowd, until someone with sharp eyes noticed something was wrong. Wait, what's with the third page of chapter 98? Why do the first letters of those lines spell out, Rachel Cheen is the real plagiarist? The entire hall erupted. Someone else immediately chimed in. Holy crap, it's true. I was wondering why a new character named Cheen suddenly appeared. Could it be that the real author of this book is someone else? Oh my god, is this some kind of paranormal event? Or is the original author trying to tell us the truth in a hidden way? Have we been lied to this whole time? The scene descended into chaos. The staff quickly took down the new chapters, but not before many people had already seen the message. The fans were furious, demanding an explanation from Rachel. She reacted quickly, screaming, "This is absurd. Absolutely absurd. It's impossible. This is my original work. Someone tampered with my manuscript. Who touched my computer? It wasn't supposed to look like this." But a reader immediately retorted, "Who could touch your computer? You carry it with you everywhere, don't you? And it just so happens to get tampered with today? If you've got the guts, write a bonus chapter right here, right now, to prove it's you. If the style and plot are consistent, we'll believe you. Yeah. Write it. Write it now. You're always talking about giving back to your readers. A bonus chapter shouldn't be too hard for you, right?" Facing the swarm of microphones, Rachel clutched her chest, feigning a sudden heart attack. She gasped for air a few times, then her eyes rolled back and she collapsed. The whole place devolved into a madhouse. Many fans rushed the stage, demanding the staff restore the deleted chapters. Leo burst from the crowd, scooped her up in his arms, and screamed for a doctor, his eyes blazing with fury. As he charged for the exit, he brushed past me, standing at the edge of the crowd. By then, the scene was boiling over. Everyone was trying to get on stage to get a clear look at the words on the screen. No one was paying attention to Rachel anymore. "Vivian Meng, you still have the nerve to show your face? You're behind this, aren't you?" Leo's face was terrifyingly dark. He looked at me as if I had murdered his family. "You're jealous that Rachel has my love, so you've always had it out for her, I know. But this is a new low. You just can't stand to see the person I love succeed, so you set out to destroy her. You bitch, just you wait. If anything happens to Rachel today, I'll kill you." He roared at me, looking for all the world like a heroic general, furious on behalf of his beloved. Just as Leo was about to shove past me and run outside, I spoke, my voice light and airy. "Leo, did you really think I was with you because I liked you?" He stopped dead in his tracks. His whole body tensed as he turned back to look at me. "You know, the person I had a crush on went abroad after graduation. The reason I accepted your confession was, 1, to get over him, and 2, I smiled and pointed to the tip of his nose. "You have a little mole right here, just like he does. It's a shame though. A stand-in can never compare to the real thing." Rachel's disastrous fan meet, which the website had hoped would build her personal brand and cash in on her fame, ended up being a total bust. Instead, they were hit with a tidal wave of backlash and suspicion. People started digging up the original dispute between me and Rachel, calling out the publishing website's official account. Vivian Meng wrote bestsellers for years. The idea that someone like her would plagiarize never sat right with me. "We only believed it because you guys officially backed Rachel." Rachel's answers at the fan meet were totally incoherent and amateurish, except for the parts about her crush. But who's to say that wasn't a pre-written script? I read that chapter she posted, and then quickly deleted a while back. It was written like a middle schooler's essay. Is that her real skill level? First time seeing a site like this. Can't tell black from white, all for clicks. Refund. If I ever spend another dollar here, I'm a dog. You people are the worst. You chased away your own veteran star author for a plagiarist. You really do reap what you sow. But some netizens were willing to let the drama play out a bit longer. The only way for Rachel to prove herself now is to write live for everyone to see. Otherwise, she's a plagiarist. But Rachel's plan had always been to use this book to get famous, and then pivot to being a social media influencer. She had never put in an ounce of real effort. Her profile was filled with one professionally edited photo after another. She cared more about compliments on her looks. The website finally realized what had happened, but it was too late to avoid a stock market crash as they suffered from the backlash. Furious, the CEO fired Fei Li and started dragging Rachel around to one boozy business dinner after another, begging for help. I heard Rachel was dolled up like a showgirl. It's hard to say what really went on. The website was just making a last-ditch effort to survive. My mom knew everyone in New York's business circles. She'd already told all her friends to ignore them. And today, as luck would have it, the person the CEO was trying to get help from was my mother. When my mom showed me the meeting request, I almost burst out laughing. Honey, this little game has gone on long enough. How about I just refuse him and contact the lawyers to file the suit? I smiled and stopped her. It's okay, Mom. Tell him to bring Rachel to this dinner. I haven't had a good talk with her in a long time. A few days later, Rachel, impeccably dressed, appeared in the hotel lobby. Leo was with her, acting as her assistant. I was by the rock garden in the lobby, feeding the small fish, when I heard a sharp voice from a distance. Vivian Meng? Leo strode over first and grabbed my arm. Why are you following us everywhere? You're like a ghost. His grip was painful. I didn't hesitate to slap his hand away. Get your filthy hands off me. Do you own this place? Are you the only one allowed in? Vivian Meng, do you have any idea a plate here costs over $2,000? Do you belong here? Rachel dropped all pretense, her eyes burning with hatred. You're destined to live in a crappy rental. Your boyfriend doesn't love you. You'll never have anything good in your life. She attacked me with everything she had, thinking her words would hurt me. But I just replied nonchalantly. Whatever you say, at least I'm here today as a guest. And you, I assume you were invited to dinner as well? You. Rachel was speechless, her chest heaving with rage. She struggled to calm herself and said with a cold laugh, a guest? It looks like you came to New York and became some rich guy's sugar baby. I'm surprised they let your kind into a place like this. Hilarious. Do you even know who I'm here to see today? Ms. Eleanor Fong. If you're too ignorant, go look her up. I doubt your sugar daddy is worth one of Ms. Feng's pinky fingers. Leo immediately joined in, united with Rachel against a common enemy. Exactly. Vivian Meng, don't get ahead of yourself. When he gets tired of you and kicks you to the curb, you'll be sorry. I stared at him, my face blank. I was memorizing every word coming out of his mouth. Today, I would make sure he wouldn't leave in one piece. What happened next left them both dumbfounded. A moment later, my mom walked in briskly with several assistants. Ah, Ms. Fong, I'm Rachel. It's such an honor to finally meet you. Rachel rushed forward fawningly to introduce herself, but my mom didn't even glance at her. She walked straight to me, took my hand, and rubbed it gently in hers. Are you cold? She asked softly. What are you doing standing by the door? Go on in and order. Isn't this your favorite restaurant? In my peripheral vision, I saw Rachel's expression freeze. Ms. Fong, I said, deliberately mimicking Rachel's tone. Why don't you go on ahead? I'll be right there. My mom understood. She nodded, and before heading up the stairs, she assigned 2 bodyguards to me. What's going on? Rachel immediately looked at Leo. Why does she seem so close with Eleanor Fong? Don't tell me Eleanor Fong is her mom? Leo's brow furrowed, and he immediately denied it. Impossible. Does Vivian look like she comes from that kind of money? I've heard some rich old women have weird hobbies. Maybe when Ms. Fong got older. Before Leo could finish, I gestured to the bodyguards, who grabbed him and dragged him aside. What are you doing? Are you attacking me in broad daylight? I'm calling the police. Help! Someone help me! Leo was carried off like a chicken. He was terrified, his voice trembling. I'm here to meet someone important. She won't let you get away with this. But the well-trained bodyguards ignored him completely. They aimed their punches where they wouldn't show on his clothes, striking hard to punish his slanderous, filthy mouth. Soon, Leo was beaten until blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. He lay on the ground, barely breathing, like a half-dead dog. Rachel glanced at him once before looking away in disgust. In her eyes, this boy was just a pathetic simp, disposable. She'd never had any real feelings for him. Who do you think you are, latching onto a rich woman? Vivian Meng, I never knew you had it in you. Was it by acting all weak and pathetic, like you just did? Seeing my mom appear at the top of the stairs, about to come down, Rachel acted fast. She grabbed my hand and used it to slap herself hard across the face. Then she ran crying toward my mom. Ms. Fong, help me. This woman, Vivian Meng, not only plagiarized my work, but now she's threatening and attacking me. Please, you have to help me. Rachel's heart-wrenching cries echoed through the lobby. Her hair was a mess and her face was pale. She made it look so real that anyone would feel a surge of protectiveness. But before she could even touch my mom's hand, the bodyguards blocked her without mercy. Rachel couldn't stop her momentum and stumbled, falling to the floor. Ms. Fong, please, you must stand up for me. This Vivian Meng is a horrible person. She's not as innocent as she looks. In private, she's actually... Silence. My mom's voice was sharp. I had never seen her look so terrifying. She glared at Rachel, a storm brewing in her eyes. So you're Rachel Chin. Rachel was so scared she stopped breathing for a second, but she wasn't ready to give up. She tried one last time, her voice weak. Yes, that's me, ma'am. Please don't believe what you see online. I was framed. My mom let out a cold laugh. Do you know what Vivian Meng's relationship is to me? Rachel's expression froze. At the same time, the CEO of the publishing website appeared at the hotel entrance. He had clearly rushed over. He was covered in sweat, and his legs were shaking. He stumbled in, his voice sounding worse than if he were crying. I'm so sorry, Ms. Fong. I didn't know Vivian was your daughter. It was all our fault. By the end of the day, the CEO was threatening Rachel with a lawsuit for a sky-high breach of contract fee, ordering her to get on her knees and beg for my forgiveness. Rachel was seething with unwillingness, so the CEO grabbed her head and forced it to the floor. So it was all you're doing, you little bitch. I kept wondering how Vivian, one of our site's veteran star authors, could get caught up in something like this. The CEO spat, his eyes darting around as he clenched his jaw. You shameless little tramp. You steal other people's work, because you have no talent of your own. And I actually believed you. I was so stupid. We were all played for fools by you. The more he spoke, the angrier he got. He grabbed Rachel's hair and gave her 2 hard slaps. Rachel's face immediately swelled up, and she broke down sobbing. The CEO cursed. You still have the nerve to cry? You did the crime but won't do the time. You've ruined our site's reputation. Who's going to invest in us now? You're one bad apple that spoiled the whole bunch. If you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. How dare you frame someone else? I must have been blind to sign an author like you. I just watched their dog-eat-dog fight with a cold smile. I still remembered everything Fei Li, representing the site, had done to me. If he thought he could get himself out of this scot-free, he was dead wrong. You still have the nerve to be here? Get on X right now and post an apology. The CEO had clearly come prepared. He had already drafted a statement and forced Rachel to post it. In it, she admitted to plagiarism and publicly apologized to me. The moment the post went live, it blew up online. Faced with confirmation of their suspicions, netizens were not only furious but also filled with regret. We drove away a good author who wrote from the heart. The hashtags apologize to Vivian Meng and bring Vivian home started trending. The feeds were filled with my former readers, crying as they reminisced about when they first started following my books. Vivi was the best. She posted 3 chapters a day, rain or shine. I was in elementary school back then. Now I'm about to graduate high school. I've read every single one of her books. I never believed she would plagiarize or hire a ghostwriter. This hurt so much. After she retired, there was no replacement. My comfort reads are gone. Vivi, please come back. I saved up so many monthly passes for you. I'll give them all to you. The CEO presented the phone to my mom as if offering a treasure, clearly hoping she would let the matter drop and help him rebuild his company. But faced with his calculating gaze, my mom just dropped one cold sentence. We've already prepared our evidence. Your website, and this girl, can wait for our lawsuit. Not only was Rachel's reputation destroyed, but the story of me and Leo was also pieced together by fans and posted online. It turned out Leo had been chasing Rachel for years, willing to do anything for the woman he worshipped. He was the one who orchestrated the whole plagiarism switcheroo. WTF, this scumbag. He had a girlfriend but was obsessed with someone else. I thought he was righteously calling out his own girlfriend, but he was just helping his crush destroy her. Damn, is he even human? He's an animal, mooching off her while plotting her downfall. What a piece of trash. Those two scumbags should be locked up together and dropped dead. I've never seen such disgusting people. Sisters, I also found this jerk's private account. He really was a backstabbing leech the whole time. The online harassment and doxing that had been directed at me in my past life were now turned on Rachel and Leo, but 10 times worse. Because they had posted so much on social media, their exact locations were easily found. Leo had been sent to the hospital, but he was visited daily by outraged citizens with creative ways of showing their anger. He couldn't take it anymore and checked himself out against medical advice. He realized that pining after his dream girl would get him nowhere, and tried to contact me several times, wanting to get back together. But how could the furious netizens give him a moment's peace? He was soon overwhelmed. After going bankrupt paying off his debts, he fled back to his hometown, sick and broken. As for Rachel, her situation was much worse. She was dealing with lawsuits, facing a massive compensation claim from the website, and enduring the relentless online mob. She quickly broke under the pressure, and her mental health deteriorated. One night, after finding her door splashed with red paint yet again, she completely broke down and jumped from her building. At that time, when I heard the news, I was with my mom planning a new website. We wanted to give every young person who loves to create an equal opportunity, a place where everyone could let their imagination run wild and write the stories they wanted to write. Is what literature and creation should truly be about.